Hey, you tell me something. Money, power, really? I want to know. I want to know. One of my I guess that was that's been my biggest question growing up. It's like, okay, you got to get the money because why do you need to get the money? Money's power. Money's power. And in the African American community, I don't know if other places and stuff, where you hear about these big hero stories of boxers doing whatever it is they need to do in order to get fame, get recognition, get power. Because they get the power, they're going to get the money, and then they get the money, they're going to get the cars, and they're going to get the hoes, and they're going to get the I'm sorry, use the H word. They're gonna get the respect. They're gonna have a good life. We're gonna have the picket fence. We're gonna have the dog because black people want a picket fence and the dog too. Don't let anybody else tell you anything. But I mean, what is money? What is this thing that we kill ourselves for? I always used to ask myself that, and you know, like a lot of people, especially very recently, somebody would glance would come back at me with an inaccurate description of what money is or what our money is now. Um, and I think it's one of the things that we have been misled on. I have a friend. His name is Robert Milton. I like to call him Mr. Milton. If I call him Mr. Milton, you let him know he's a sir over me. He probably doesn't really like it very well. But my older my the older people to my generation, they will come back with a very inaccurate estimation of what money is, and I think that's the general consensus, especially where I live at. And you're going to say the literacy rate, so people aren't reading or anything like that. But I mean, again, white standards brought on to black populations. Now, one thing, but we are right about something. We are 100% right um, in the auspice that we must understand what this thing we call currency is, so we can know how to cure ourselves of this being desperate and being impoverished. There is a very good book called A Framework to Understanding Poverty. I'll say it again. It's called A Framework to Understanding Poverty. Basically, the book explains very little on how the people who are so-called impoverished understand what money is. Now, I can relate to myself. I can relate myself. And okay, well, what I used to do with money and what do I still do with money? Well, to me, money, I take it and I do frivolous things with it sometimes, but I'm not in a position to see a lot of money, at least not as of yet until I finish my degree. And when I see more money and stuff, I'm getting a more of a plan on how to do anything. Okay, so now this money thing. Now this this is my today feelings on what money is, and not just my feelings. Is the an accurate estimation on what money is, and the theory that I want to use on what money is I want to use Irwin Schiff's example because I believe Irwin Schiff's example of what money represents is it's a holistic, accurate way of understanding it. And Now this might go a little bit over the heads of some of my black uneducated uneducated people. But it's okay, it's okay. Not everybody is meant to. Just because somebody has an education doesn't mean it needs to be dominated by. Okay, now this is the estimation. The money is a product of the economy. It is a product of your role on the wider economy. What do I mean? I mean, if two people were on an economy and two people produced two separate goods and they traded each other for goods, they would not need money. Now, what happens if say 100 people, was in an economy that produced 100 different separate goods in order for people to live? Now, from day to day, I'm going to need certain things. So demand in a day would go up and down for certain things. But as collateral with the market, because I'm going to sell my goods no matter what. In order to do that, what the market gives me in return is collateral that says I can take this and trade for anything. But the bottom line is the money represents actual goods. I started going in this direction because, okay, well, we talk about our wealth. And I say, okay, well, is money really power? Well, no. Well, you have to say no because um, a person, especially in the United States of America right now, a person can produce endless, limitless money, but the money, but the, but and it's owned by the money is owned by an institution that is institutionalized, which should not be in a free economy. Um, if it, if a economy was truly free, an institution would not own the currency. Um, because the currency belongs to the people. The people who create the goods for it to be in the open air. Um, Wealth is goods. Wealth is goods that can be developed. Why? Because you take that good that is in hand and you trade it for something you need. That's what we take our like right now. I do some permaculture stuff, and hopefully I can take some pictures and stuff with me, and take a video camera with me to take show you some of my projects. But for I wanted to use the permaculture example. Why? Because we take that to market, and the market gives us collateral after the market has sold it. Because what if I take my goods, I go to a farmer's market, and what if I need a microchip, or what if I need a hard drive if I made enough, if I traded enough? Well, they do not sell computers and hard drives in a farmer's market, so the market has to compensate me by giving me a medium that everyone will accept. Now, the problem with our currency that I understand and the rest of the world currency who is going over to gold, and I believe Ron Paul is absolutely right in um, pointing pointing the finger. Pointing the finger. Let me finish my point first. Pointing the finger uh, uh, um, at the acquisition of gold, the price the acquisition of gold cost per ounce is merely stating that the rest of the world currency is trading it. So the rest of the world figured this gold should be collateral. Um, Now, inside the contiguous United States, if we say, okay, well, we're just going to use our money, and our money really just represents the type of wealth that we say we want to pick. Well, if you that would mean that the U.S. market would have to somehow become either isolationist or or ditch the currency in the future, in the near future, ditch the currency for a currency that is backed by something that is real and tangible. Um, or else, it will. decrease our power on the world market. That is fact. That is fact. That can be scientifically proven. Um, I had a teacher one day tell me when I was doing litmus litmus tests for carotenoids and carotenoids for the urchins and other stuff and plant cuttings, doing testing for that. And I said, okay, well, one of the test results looks like it it looks like the stock exchange going on in the 1990s. And he goes like, you know what? That's curious because that's how most your economists have a very arcane way of depicting how the economy or describing how the economy will act, which is really weird when you hear people like George Bush or when it all came out, if somebody like George Bush say, okay, well the economy isn't working right. Like is the economy based on the amount of money in the economy, or is it policy, or is it policy? Well, I don't know. I believe one thing, facts can prove another thing, or somebody else that works for Fox News can say, what is this dumb black guy doing? Talking about this and talking about that. Okay, now, so again, I go back and I ask the question again: is money wealth? And keep in mind, we've been told that we got to chase it. If we don't have it, we don't have anything. But the idea of is always servitude, especially for blacks, especially for the black culture. The idea has always been get the money, and how do you get the money? Through servitude. But that's why, and that's another reason why we have been focusedly bombarded with advertisement. We don't how many and that's why it affects us. It affects us so much. And the less the people who are poor are the people who spend the less time watching TV. The people who are working and committing the crimes are the people who are more frequently in front of the TV. Why? Because they're stimulated into what they think they want. For the idea of chasing money. Well, what is the money? What is the money? I would challenge anybody. I mean, people are looking at the currency. They're trying to die for it. I would challenge anybody to really understand what it is they're fighting, what they're fighting, they're dying for, what it represents, and who does it. If you're going for money and you're not trying to acquire wealth by acquiring or producing tangible goods for you, your neighbors, or anybody else, are you really acquiring wealth, or are you just living in the perpetual debt of another? Okay, what do you think?